Imagine standing in a small town in Texas on a hot summer day. It's June 19th, 1865. A group of people gathers outside to listen to a Union general who has just arrived. The crowd is quiet. Then they hear the words they have waited so long to hear. All slaves are free. At first there is silence. People look at each other, not sure if it's real. Then joy spreads. Some cry, some shout, some pray. For the first time in their lives, they are free. That day was June 19th, and it became known as Juneteenth. It is one of the most important days in American history. It marks the moment when the last enslaved people in the United States learned they were free. This month, people across the country will celebrate Juneteenth with music, parades, food, dancing, and reflection. But to understand why Juneteenth matters, we have to go back in time. In the 1800s, the United States was divided between the North and the South. In the North, many people worked in cities and factories. In the South, large farms called plantations grew crops like cotton, tobacco, and sugar. These farms depended on the labor of enslaved people, men, women, and children who were forced to work with no pay, no freedom, and often under very harsh conditions. Slavery had existed in America for more than 200 years. Enslaved people were bought and sold. Families were torn apart. People were punished for trying to run away or even for learning to read. But many never gave up hope. They dreamed of a day when they could be free. In 1861, the Civil War began. The northern states, known as the Union, fought against the southern states, known as the Confederacy. One of the biggest reasons for the war was slavery. Many people in the North wanted to end it, while many in the South wanted to keep it. During the war, President Abraham Lincoln made a bold move. On January 1st, 1863, he signed the Emancipation Proclamation. This paper said that all enslaved people in the Southern Confederate States were now free. But there was a problem. The Union Army did not control all of the South yet. In many places, including Texas, enslaved people were not told they were free. Their enslavers kept them working, and the news was kept from them. It wasn't until 2.5 years later, on June 19th, 1865, that things changed. On that day, General Gordon Granger and Union soldiers arrived in Galveston, Texas. General Granger read General Order Number 3. It said that all enslaved people were now free and had the same rights as other citizens. People were shocked and overjoyed. That day became Juneteenth, a mix of the words June and 19th. The first Juneteenth celebrations began the next year, in 1866. People gathered in churches, fields, and homes to pray, sing, and share stories. They wore their best clothes, sometimes clothes that had once been forbidden. They shared meals, read the Emancipation Proclamation aloud, and celebrated the freedom they had waited so long to enjoy. Juneteenth celebrations spread across Texas and to other parts of the country as formerly enslaved people moved to new places. But not everyone celebrated. Some people tried to stop the events or make them smaller. Even though slavery had ended, many Black Americans still faced unfair treatment, segregation, and violence. It would take many more years of fighting for civil rights before some of these wrongs began to be made right. Still, Juneteenth remained a powerful tradition. Families passed it down from generation to generation. They remembered their ancestors' struggles and honored their strength. The day became a time for joy, learning, and pride. In the 1900s, Juneteenth celebrations grew again. During the civil rights movement of the 1960s, more people began talking about the meaning of Juneteenth. Leaders like Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. spoke about freedom and justice for all Americans. People realized that Juneteenth was not just a day for Black Americans, it was a day for all people to think about what freedom really means. Over time, more and more states began to officially recognize Juneteenth as a holiday. In 1980, Texas became the first state to make Juneteenth a state holiday. That was fitting since Juneteenth began in Texas. For many years, people worked to make Juneteenth a national holiday too. They held marches, wrote letters, and told stories about why the day mattered. Finally, in 2021, Juneteenth became a federal holiday in the United States. That means it is now a holiday for the whole country. President Joe Biden signed the law, and people celebrated across the nation. Flags were raised, bells rang, and families gathered to remember and honor the meaning of the day. So how do people celebrate Juneteenth today? Each community is different, but many celebrations include parades, picnics, concerts, and speeches. People often wear red, black, and green, the colors of African American pride. Red food and drinks are common, like watermelon, strawberries, and red punch, to honor the blood and strength of those who came before. People play music, tell stories, and teach young people about history. Some people go to museums or read books to learn more. Others volunteer or support causes that fight for fairness and justice. Juneteenth is a time for joy, but it is also a time for reflection. It reminds us of the long fight for freedom in this country. It shows us how brave people stood up, spoke out, and never gave up hope. It teaches us that freedom didn't come all at once, but step by step through struggle and strength. Even today, the journey toward fairness and equality is not over. Many people are still working to make sure everyone is treated equally, no matter their skin color, where they come from, or how much money they have. Juneteenth reminds us that freedom is something we must protect and share with everyone. As we celebrate Juneteenth this month, we remember a promise that all people deserve freedom, fairness, and a chance to live their lives with dignity. We remember the strength of those who waited, hoped, and believed. We remember that freedom delayed is not freedom denied, and that every voice matters in the story of America. So whether you're marching in a parade, reading a book, or enjoying a picnic with your family, take a moment to think about Juneteenth. Celebrate it, share it, and remember what it means, Freedom Day, a day when hope became real and a nation took a powerful step toward becoming truly free for all.